Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special Friday edition of Shoulder Tap. I'm Jack, joined by Risk Manager Mick and Coach Dakota. What's up, guys? You'll never guess where I'm going after work today.
The golf course.
Hopefully. So that's what we got looking forward to.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
nice summer day here. But we thought we'd do kind of a freewheeling shoulder tap today and talk about some risk management stuff and maybe some learnings, etc., for the future. So, Mick and Dakota, I'll hand it over to you guys to start this.
Yeah, I thought it would be appropriate to have Dakota on. Nice to be on. Dakota, you and I haven't shared the spotlight yet, but we've had conversations multiple times. And as every one of our viewer knows, we got our top dog live trader on here. I think he shared some updates with the viewers recently regarding the live account. So thought it would be appropriate to get him on here and talk about some of the recent trading that he's had. Things that went well, things that maybe we could change in the future, and basically share some stories and learning experiences with the rest of our group here.
I don't know what to say.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll start off.
I would say this: if I could do everything over again the past 6 months, I'd do it exactly the same.
And I don't disagree with that. There might be one or two things that you might have changed.
Set a louder alarm clock. That's one.
Yeah, so I for those of you that haven't heard, Coach Dakota has been our top dog, number one on the live trader leaderboard for a while. He had built up his account over $250,000 in very, very short order. I think, Dakota, you had about 100 and something active days. Actually, I look at my cheat sheet, 103 active days trading in the live account. Really were, as JD says, on a heater for a good part of that. So not only was it an extremely large account balance, but, you found wild success in the markets to the tune of like taking $184,000 in payouts out. And
Was it 184?
yesterday, yeah, I think it was 184, almost 185. Do I have my numbers crossed? What's your bank account
that sounds
say?
about right. The last payout just hit yesterday.
Oh, okay. So yeah, yesterday his live account hit the $0 account balance. So max loss limit. It was, I think you came in with about
negative. Right. I think it
hit and exceeded zero, which we'll talk about with the slippage, because you had about 17 or 18,000 left in that account yesterday. Coming into the CPI number, you had a 15 lot on. Market, spiked in one direction, went against you. Auto liquidation triggered at the $0 mark. And yeah, I think the account went into about $4,000 debit with slippage based off the volatility during the time of that release. So the live account's been closed. I know you'll be back though, because you've got a great eye for the markets and truly good money management. This is not luck or chance that you had grown the account to such a large amount, and then also taking pretty staggering payouts as well. So why don't you walk us through a little bit what happened yesterday? I know you kind of hinted towards it a little bit earlier regarding the alarm clock, and maybe all that good trading has allowed you to sleep a little bit too soundly at night.
Right before Dakota starts,
I said,
wanted to say, Dakota, that and people in the chat can answer this. Have you ever slept through something important for trading? Because I know that I have, so it's not. But go ahead, tell us what happened here, man.
Well, let me start out. What was I going to say? Dang it, Jack. Let me make sure I get this straight. 184K in payouts. That was only a minus 16K day based off my account balance, $17,000 a day. And you know better than any, Mick, that is. No, I wouldn't say average, but I've had a lot bigger swings. We had that fun roast my trades where I've had bigger P&Ls where I was up like 40K for the day, finished down or like positive 20. That was a $20,000 loss. And these bigger swings is something that comes along with this when you're trading bigger account sizes. Yesterday, me and you talked for a little bit, and surprisingly, yesterday was one of my best days of the year in my personal accounts, unfortunately. And I'll walk you guys through it. I walked everybody through it for slow markets. That's the benefit of being on slow markets, is you guys get to find out all this stuff before it comes on to the daytime show. But yeah, everyone seen me in a 15 lot short yesterday. Probably one of the only shorts that lost money in that account. And yeah, I went to bed, put an alarm for, it would be 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, because the CPI news comes out at 6:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I slept through it. I woke up, I seen the market was down like 200 points, got super excited. I checked my personal live accounts and I was stoked because I had a lot of covered calls and puts on Qs and some of the indices. And it was one of my biggest days I've ever had in my personal accounts. Then when I logged onto the computer and I seen my Topstep live account, I was like, what the heck just happened? Yeah. It was CPI, right? that just whipped right up and then turned around and dumped 200 or 500 points, maybe even whatever it is from that high. So I was short around 20,892 is where I was short from. And then, yeah, the rest is kind of history. There's some irony, though, to this, Mick, because the day before we were just talking, I sent you a message. I said, this new statistics on Topstep X is amazing. I want to switch. I'm going to be looking to switch to Topstep X. And the way to do so is just withdraw my entire account balance, which was down to like 16, 17,000 because I've took so many payouts. And so, yeah, it's kind of ironic. And it's kind of funny because that same day, I passed 5 150K X or combines. So now I'm sitting here with 5 fresh, 150K XFAs in Topstep X. So of course I would have rather just withdraw that money and have that in my pocket and then make that switch. But I'm lead by example, right? And that was my mission since the beginning of the year when I first started trading combines here at Topstep, was trade by example, show traders, not only am I wanting to coach here at Topstep, I want to show that I'm a coach for a reason. And like you guys said, it's get while the getting's good. The markets was amazing this spring, this summer, and I've done really well. And then the markets just turn into just a very tough for a trader, especially when we're just continually to hit highs. And so going through a drawdown, now we got volatility back into the markets as of yesterday, and it's been really well. And then part of that, right, what do they say it? Heavy holds the crown, or whatever that saying is you guys
heavy lies the crown.
You guys have to take the bad with the good, and that's part of leading by example. So you guys get to see all this stuff, what it takes to take payouts, go through that. And of course, like we were saying, it's like hindsight's 2020. If I wouldn't have taken so much in payouts, I would still be sitting here with $180,000 account balance. But I would rather have that money in my pocket than sitting in that account right now.
If I could touch on the payout piece of it, Dakota, or Jack, did you want to go with something before I get into the payout stuff?
Well, you could do it too. And Dakota, we've been talking to, and me and JD have been looking at this for a while now, of like, ultimately is a good thing to take, $184,000, $185, whatever it was in payouts, and not to be, we show that top 10 list, and we're trying to find something, be it if it's like includes the payouts this year, like it's a yearly tracker and we start again each year. We'll talk it out in chat and stuff like that. But it'll be interesting to see how we want to do that.
Yeah, because we're ultimately, and what's also motivated me to keep trading in Topstep accounts is that trading competition. I'm super excited for that. We have that VIP, we have the trading competition, keeping track of the statistics. Now, all that being said, the leaderboard's fun. And I know Mick knows this for a fact. When we see someone make, 100K in a day, or, do so well, and then they just keep talking, I'm going for the leaderboard, I'm going for your top spot. And that distracts from what they should be doing. It's process over profits. So even though the leaderboard's really fun and it's exciting, it's something to take with a grain of salt, to not because we're all competitive. We're really all competitive as traders. But yeah, we talked about that, Jack, a little bit. I know some other traders have been talking about that, is understanding what's the year-to-date P&L for all the traders here at TopStep, and then breaking it down by quarter. We could be able to track it. It's because I've had that conversation. It's like, hey, if somebody was trading this month, they're doing so much better than me. I don't deserve to be on that top spot for this month. Somebody needs to have those highlights who's being able to do really well in this type of a market condition, rather than me just sitting at number one. So there's a lot that I'm excited to continue to work with you, Jack, on, and you guys are on top of that behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think to be transparent, we'll show both. So yeah, thanks for talking that out. So Mick, go ahead.
Yeah. I think it's only fair too. I mean, regarding the leaderboard, I want to get back to the payouts, but what you just mentioned, like the leaderboard can be a distraction, and you, Dakota, talked about leading by example, which is, something really good. But I know that there's one of our other traders that's been trading really well who said, he wanted to chase you down. And we had talked about, how that's really not a good thing. Like trading is a highly competitive individual sport. Focus on what you're doing. And then definitely, one of the rules that I have tried to live by with my trading is separating your desire from profits from your trading. We're all here to, make money, but everybody wants to make money. Your trading should be isolated to what the market is doing, and the money is a byproduct of that. So going back to, so that's my take on, the leaderboard and stuff like that. People should be focusing on the trading. Money is a byproduct, and your spot on the leaderboard is going to be a byproduct. Regarding the payouts and leading by example, I know that you had got that account up to, like I said earlier, $250,000. There were no payouts taken. I think there had been a number of people here at TopStep that were nudging you to take payouts, including, Michael Patak himself. And I had heard that, you had kind of turned him down on the payouts. And I was like, well, I certainly don't carry as much weight as Michael, but I'll see what I can do. And we had a conversation one evening, or at least I messaged you one evening, and I think you might have gotten back to me the next day. And I was like, hey, people look up to you. You are leading by an example, just as a coach would. I was like, there's so many people that find short-term success. They build their accounts up to, a nice balance only to give it back. And, I talk about that a lot on the shoulder tap segment, big profits coming and going. I'll follow up to the story here this week on Shane, that guy in the XFA who had made $130,000 in one day across 5 accounts. He is now on his 7th day losing across those 5 accounts. So he's given back 124 of the $130,000 in 7 days across those 5 accounts. But I was like, it'd be really important to show people that they need to pay themselves, because it's what we're all here for. And a lot of people get very fixated on this number that you can see on the computer screen, your account balance and stuff like that. But any money that you keep in your account is risk capital. Dakota, like you said, if you hadn't taken 185,000 in payouts, you'd still have an account balance of this much. Despite that account closing, and I know you'll be in the live markets again here probably in very short order. I mean, you have 184,000 to show for it. And, that's a very large sum of money, even on a smaller scale for traders who are not assuming the same kind of risk, or may not even have the same risk tolerances that you have, and may never even get those. There's something to be said about, Jack, you and I talk about it. It's like, hey, they might have lost this account. They might have done X, Y, and Z incorrectly, but they still have something to show for it. And that's a big piece of the journey, especially as people continue to grow and develop in this business. So I was very happy that we were able, Dakota, you and I were able to come to some sort of an agreement that I think I'm going to give you a little jab here. You and I talked about, when it came to the payouts, Dakota and I had agreed upon, he's like, all right, I'm going to maintain a $250,000 account balance, and anything over that, I'm going to take half of it every 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, that's great. And then I think it was only a matter of days later, I was, doing something, and I'm in the office here with JD, and he goes, Dakota just took 130,000 out in a payout. And I was like, what that's not what we talked about. It was so far from the plan that you and I had discussed. So I was really caught off guard by it. I think part of that, and you and I talked about it a little bit yesterday, Dakota, totally part of it was for entertainment, and certainly good, juicy entertainment. But I was thinking, you mentioned earlier when you got on, you wouldn't have done anything differently in this live account. I'm curious would you have done that differently? That's question number one. And question number two, is there anything, I know you mentioned you wouldn't have done anything differently, but realistically, is there anything that you think you did incorrectly in the account that is a learning experience for yourself and something that you could pass along to everybody else that's here watching?
That's a good question, Mick. So number one, I don't regret taking those payouts. To be honest, of course, I would still have 180 plus K account balance. I'm glad I took those payouts because I'm using that money, and I've already put it into a CD, and then some in a Roth IRA and a few other areas. And the one that I just got yesterday, that paid for those combines. And so it's kind of a great thing that I took those payouts, because if not, I most likely would have just withdrew everything anyway to switch to Topstep X. So it didn't really matter too much. The biggest regret was basically just yesterday, leaving a trade run through news. And we teach that. All the coaches know. I say it all the time and preach it. And I even said it that night before, was, I need to make sure I'm out of this trade before the news hits tomorrow. And then I sleep in, and then this happens. But yeah, that I think I don't have anything else. I think it's great for the traders to see how everything goes. But in terms of, like you said, as a trader, how much money are we putting in? At the end of the day, this is a prop account, right? And that's what I was just having conversations with some of my friends, like, man, this is a prop account. I paid for a total of 6 combines, 6 times 150, right? So plus another 6 times 150 for the activation fee, and that's my cost. And so, I keep everything, and you could do the math very simply, right? So it's like basically 12 times 150. So my investment into this live account, $1,800. And I'm sitting here with, over $180,000
more than that. Yeah.
Minus the time and my trading, right? Because of course there's always that, what's it called? Opportunity risk, or that lost opportunity, where if I was focusing on maybe my personal accounts, I could have made more. But I think being able to help the traders here at Topstep has provided a lot more value to me than if I was to be trading my personal accounts and making, would have made a lot more money possibly. But you never know.
Yeah. We should lighten the mood a little bit here, just in general. Yeah, people are commenting that we seem like a little dour or something. Basically, yeah, you slept through your alarm. You did it. It's not, you took out 185K. It's fine. I have resting concerned face. So when I'm listening, I just look like I am scolding her that. No, all in all, you did great. Also, let it be known, I am not roasting you today. I really am not when I said that, because
I was kind of
we hadn't talked in person, so I didn't. Well, I am doing some roasting, not of you. But you never know what's going on with how someone feels about that at the time. So I didn't want to try and make light of it. But it seems you got a great, you're at 5xFAs. You're doing great. We just wanted to be transparent, so we're just talking about this. But Mick, I did, if you want to roll to him now, somebody was talking about the Coach T one-liners.
Okay.
That are coming out. And I scoured the internet trying to find people to give me the worst things Coach T has said to them. And Gabe, I think we have a few of those if we want to share with the audience right now.
I got one last night.
I bet you did. Trading can be a lonely profession when you're in front of the screen all day. If you traded better, more people would probably hang out with you. Oh, yeah. Coach T, getting it. We got a few of these. This might have been the one you got. I feel so stupid for saying this, but CPI's in 5 minutes. You already knew that. I mean, it's the biggest release of the month. If you could remember one thing about the markets, it would be this. Thanks, Coach T. What else we got here? I see you traded the Dow today. Thank you for your service. You truly are the greatest generation. Oh, that's a bit ageist. Your least successful trading time was between 12:01 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. You might want to avoid trading during this time. I think that's true.
That's
with a lot of them.
That's funny. There's a really quickly on that one. I have something in the office at home that it's a chart, and it says the most dangerous months of trading throughout the year are the ones that end in Y.
Yes. Let's just show this. We got two more. I don't know if we're going to read this one. Preparation is key. Have you considered removing all firearms from your home? And lastly, I think it's become self-aware. Just be aware that you can actually hurt Coach T with your trading and kill it, a la.
Oh, man.
Who came up with all these?
It's the AI, man. It's just been feeding off of comments from all of our coaches and stuff like that, and it's getting a little bit feisty. I mean, what about removing the firearms? Is over the.
I've got something. I've got something funny here. So years ago, before everything closed down for COVID, in our old office, Jack, you remember you were there over on the marketing side of things. My desk was very close to marketing, and out of all the conversations I had with traders, the marketing team started a Google Doc, and it was like Mickisms or something like that, and they took quotes from the calls that I had, and they built this Google Doc up. And there's some of them are very, very funny if you especially not knowing the context of the conversation. And we had T-shirts made and stuff like that. That could be fun to pepper into this AI.
I still remember one of them still sticks with me about you were talking to someone who was saying something about Paul Tudor Jones, and you were just like, that guy's a billionaire.
Yeah,
they were comparing.
there were some good ones.
Well. Yeah, I'll see if I can find those, but we're about out of time here. Dakota, keep on doing what you're doing. As you said, no regrets about the last 6 months. You've been killing it. Keep trading those options. You're a great friend of Topstep and traders, and that's all so it's a reverse roast, and that's as far as I'm going to go. So thanks for joining, Dakota.
Yep, no problem. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Take care.
All right, we'll be back with group coaching just after this.